that door, and they're going to take your photo, and you can find your respective seats. Thank you.
I'm your crew chief, right? Yes. Yeah. I don't know where the dancing girls are.
So GTBR board members, when the pilot photo is complete, if you'll meet back on this side of the wall, we'll do a group photo for board members, please. So hang around. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I even needed to do this, but I went ahead and, besides being in the DFA, I went ahead and got the
HACD.
Yeah, I'm registered with that as an official.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that.
Anyway.
Okay. You're covered all the way around.
should go over on their table.
On that table?
Yeah.
2 and 4?
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Gene. Welcome to the general briefing. We got several things we'd like to go over with you this evening. And once we conclude with some announcements and some clarifications and things that we've been working on today, we'll certainly open it up for any questions. The following pilots need to see, will need to be here early in the morning to see the FAA. For document review, Scott Armstrong, Al Nels, AJ Nels, Joe Seymour, Bruce Wood. Okay? Just make sure that you see the FAA in the morning. Gentlemen, Dave, could I get you to stand up so they'll know who to see in the morning? Okay? Thank you. The following pilots have yet to answer the invite for WhatsApp. It's quite a list. Bruce Wood, Jeremy Rubin, Chase Donner, Blake Aldridge, Scott Armstrong, Brandon Bloom, Corey Bloom, Amanda Broadbeck, Bill Busty, Trenton Caldwell, Patrick Cloyd, Chad Crabtree, Matt Finster, Gary Haynes, Brandon Haven, Todd Isley, Jason Jones, Steve Jones, Benjamin Miller, Al Nels, Andrew Nels, or AJ, Sean Rea, Daniel Roush, Richard Saban, Joe Seymour, Natasha Stanky, Mark Sullivan. There was an email sent out to you earlier today with a link for WhatsApp. So make sure that you get on that and accept that invitation so you can start to receive pieball information in the morning starting at 5:15. Yes?
So we got it. It says do not reply.
No, that's not, the email is from Sam. Look
Yeah.
for an email
So
from
the
Sam.
WhatsApp is separate than the email?
Yeah, I sent everyone an email today. There's a link in it, and all you have to do is just click on the link and accept the invitation. So again, we want to use WhatsApp to communicate with you for pieballs as well as any important information. It's replacing Remind. So if you would just take care of that tonight. All right, a few things to go over with you. I'm going to do this in somewhat rapid succession because we've got a little bit of a long list, so we can get y'all out of here so it gets you prepared for the morning. New briefing times. So 5:30 is the start of the briefing. Those of you that came to the practice flight this morning, you know the new drill. The doors were open at 5:15. We're going to, that's your 15 minutes of quiet time. The roll call will be at 05:30. We will also send out 2 pieball strips. That's the plan, one at 5:15, and then an updated one at 5:30, and then subsequent weather strips as needed. But at least we're going to give you those 2 there prior to the briefing. Rule changes for 2024. I posted a document on Watch Me Fly official notice board. Please review that. And if you have any questions about any of the rule changes from 2023 to 2024, now would be the time to ask any of those questions. Also, there is a rule change as of today. Based on the question that we got from Paul this morning, we went back and did some research, not only with the AXMERs, but also the U.S. Nationals rules, as well as the COH. So as such, we requested and received approval from the jury today to add the word valid. And I'm going to read the rule, but we've also posted this on the official notice board. In section 2, rule 17E, echo, and it's under storing second bullet point. And the old rule read, in case the same logger goal is declared more than once, the last declaration in time will be used. We sought permission and was granted permission from the jury to add the word valid. So now the new rule will read, in case the same logger goal is declared more than once, the last valid declaration in time will be used. Any questions on that? Because our friend Andy did a lot of work today on that to create.
There's no need.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
He was hoping somebody would ask about
Oh,
that.
I wasn't. Just the opposite.
All right, if there's no questions on that, that's how it will be used for the rest of the championship. Also, want to tell you what our intent is for What's Me app. I've already mentioned how we would use it to share pieball information, but we want to tell you what our intent is beyond that and how it will not be used. Obviously, this came up in a jury appeal, went all the way to a tribunal with regards to how WhatsApp was used to change the tax. It's our intent to provide information to the pilots and also to the crew. In addition to that, we're going to provide you additional safety items. For example, if we find out that there is a hidden power line upwind on a certain goal, when we get out there, we're going to send that information out. If we see that we're going to have to cancel, obviously we're going to use WhatsApp for that. If we see that we're going to have to cancel, say, the latter half of the task string, we will use it for that. What it will not be used for is to change the location. However, or change the location of a hard target. However, for your courtesy, if we see that when we get out to one of our hard target locations, and if we feel that it's best to move it within the rules, which is up to 100 meters, we will still send you out a WhatsApp to let you know that we've moved that 40 meters, whatever that is, within the rules.
We will try to do that.
Yeah, we will try, good point. We will try to do that, but what we will not do is move it outside of the rules. We feel like that's needed to be done at a supplementary briefing, so that's not going to be done over any electronic means. Any questions on that? Yes?
Will you also potentially change the radius? Because I'm guessing you're saying like if there's water or something, you can't put it.
We probably, no, it would not be my intent to change the MMA, particularly on a heads where they would have to remain the same anyway. If we had to do that, that would only be for safety reasons, and we would note that, but it would not be my intent to do that. Okay, any further questions? And by the way, if you're monitoring Watch Me Fly, if we make those changes through WhatsApp, we're also going to push it out on Watch Me Fly as well. All right, propane manifold or refueling times. Please be aware that propane is going to close at 11 a.m. And if you see that you're not going to make it in time to meet the 11 a.m. closing, I gave a number this morning, and if you missed it, I'm going to repeat it now. If you see that you're not going to go back to propane or you're going to be late, please call Bill Adler, and that number is 903-235-3246. Repeat, 903-235-3246. Landowner Relations, John Rich. Obviously, as I mentioned before, they do a great job, but they've had a challenge of late with all the rain. There are lots of places, if you've already been down through Kilgore and launched from the airport down there, you've seen coming up through that river bottom that there's still a lot of flooding. Please be careful. You may even want to walk before you drive in certain locations. I'd hate for you to get stuck out there and you miss a launch. Also, be advised that we gave you John Rich's telephone number. I'm making sure. Yes, he's on the sheet that we provided on the table. It's got a blue strip across the top. That's John Rich's telephone number at the bottom if you need assistance on landowner relations. Return all your markers, the ducks, when they do the ducks on the pond, and any other items that you may have to return to the event center here at Mont Cobb right after the briefing, right after your flight. You go to let's see, we talked about those that needed to see the FAA. We have Maury, as I said, is going to be the jury president on site. The remote jury members this year are going to be Gary Britton and Chris Smart, and they're actually online right now on the Zoom. watching in. So we'd like to thank those individuals for volunteering to do that this year. We had a jury member with us last year that unfortunately passed away. And at this time, I would like for all of us to stand and pay respect in a moment of silence for our friend from Kentucky, David Trout. Thank you very much. Carrying on, I provided the grid coordinates for the contents area of the map. You'll see that the map actually extends a little beyond what the contents area are depicted with the grid coordinates. So just be advised of what the contents area is. Remember the rest hour hours for contacting staff, please. Rookies of the year. How many rookies, if you are rookies for the U.S. Nationals for the first time, raise your hand, please. Fantastic. That's great. I know we didn't get all of those, so if you would please, when we break, come see Patty and give her your name so we can just keep up with that for the Rookie of the Year tabulation. Fantastic. That's great news. Welcome to all of our rookies. Power lines. If you haven't flown here in East Texas, there's lots of trees and there's lots of hidden power lines. So please be aware that there are lines where you may not think that there are. So just always be on the lookout for that. Also here in East Texas, there's a lot of oil wells and a lot of pump jacks. Please be careful when you're in the vicinity of those locations. And John Rick has a lot of keys to a lot of gates to get you into locations, but only choose those locations if there's no other possibilities of landings. Also, we found something in the rules that we feel like it's necessary to clarify for our women competitors. As a result of there being a women's national championship this year, in addition that there is no women's world championship in 2025, there's a rule that we don't need to change, but we just need to let you know that it's not applicable for this U.S. National. It's in Section 3, Chapter 2, I think it's Rule 2.2.2, and it says, women qualifying and stating their intention to use the U.S. Nationals as qualifying for the Women's World Championship must have only female designated flight crew on board the aerostat. Just wanted to make you aware that you're not restricted to that as a result of there is a U.S. National for women's, and there's also no worlds that these scores would be used for. So just wanted you to be aware of that. I-20 Red Road is 250-foot dome, which means that if we're considering the map flat at 400 feet, the top of that dome is 650 feet MSL. Highball reading will be provided to you in magnetic. You saw in the task sheet that we did this morning that we used coordinates and then we said near a certain target. We'll continue to do that to give you a reference when we're choosing new target coordinates for you to fly to. But just also be advised that we're allowing you to use the pre-approved target list, which contains the 4 digits. There are no more alpha characters that you need to be concerned about. Those have all been eliminated. But anything else other than the 4-digit off of the pre-approved list, we do need the 4x4. So just keep that in mind. We caution you and certainly ask you to be very careful about any live streaming. So pilots and crew, we would prefer that you're not live streaming. Record it and publish it for a later time. The flight report forms on Watch Me Fly are for your benefit. Take advantage of that. Fill those out at the conclusion of the flight. If you see provisional scores posted on Watch Me Fly and your name's not associated with those scores, don't be worried. It's just that JC is still working on scores. He will post several other provisionals until the entire list is completed. So don't be alarmed. He's taking care of that. For propane, the propane company is requiring that if you have a trailer, the basket has to come out of the trailer for refueling, and certainly no one is going to be allowed to stay inside the basket for refueling purposes. Stand by. Okay, I think that's all the notes that I had. Any questions? Yes, Sasha. Good question. The question was, is I-20 the only red road? And the answer is yes. Alabama. Nope. No, it's not. Next question.
We have two over here.
Yeah, Richard.
Morning, ordinance, and sometimes we had, the 8-page ordinance slide. You give us a target, is that the same target? Is that what's in the GPS, the target list that we got? Or have you moved it and changed it to a different deal? Is there a difference between those two?
Great question. I'm going to repeat it for the jury. Will we have a 4-digit number, and then out beside that, and parenthetically, we will do a 4x4. And when we use the word near, that means that is a new set of coordinates for that target that morning. If you see that it's a 4-digit identifier, and parenthetically, it's listed the 4x4, that's the 4x4 off the list. We're just giving it to you as a courtesy. So if we say near something, or it doesn't have any 4-digit identifier associated with it, that's a brand new set of coordinates. Yeah, and also for clarification, if we say near, it just means that most likely in the same field. All right, Peg, you had your hand up?
Are we able to give the WhatsApp link to our crew chief so they can get info too?
Yeah, the question is, can you give the link to your crew? The answer to that is no, but they have their own link. So, crew chiefs, we need to get your cell phones to Patty Kramer so we can then hook them up. We're doing pie-balls for both the pilots as well as the crew chiefs, but we're setting them up in 2 separate groups. We're using the community to where the community can send out mass, or if we wanted to send out specific group messages, we can do that as well. Any other questions? We're going to ask the crew chiefs, or we're going to ask those numbers to be given to Patty Kramer.
One for crew chief, so they should already have a text link, and 30-some people already completed that. So if you register the crew chief when you find out for the event, they should have gotten that.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat that for the jury. We've already connected with a lot of the crew chiefs and used the crew chief cell numbers that were put in the application for the U.S. Nationals. But particularly if you got a new phone, or you got a new crew chief, or something has changed, we'd like you to see Patty. Paul, we'll come right back to you. Jonathan had his hand up first.
Is that going to be restricted only to our crew chiefs that are in this room, or if we have other auxiliary crew that would like to get that information, if we get their numbers in that as well?
No, we're limited to the number of people per group. So it's up to your crew chief to provide that information to the rest of the crew. Okay, Paul?
What group is the official email?
When we do an official, when we do a question, what group will be the official recall? Going to be all of them. For example, if we're canceling a flight, it's going to be sent out through the community. But if let's just take for example that we're canceling 2 parts of the task. We're not gonna send that out through the entire community, we're gonna target that message.
But will it be beyond pilots?
Yes, it will.
We'll get that.
Yes, we have other ancillary kind of groups that don't need to know that. Nick?
General briefing notes, will those be published, or do we get those tomorrow morning? How do we get whatever you just went over?
I will create a Word document, put it on Watch Me Fly official notice board. There was some add-ons, so I'll create a new one. Okay. Patty, she's set you up a sign-up sheet over here on the table. So over here, Rhett, go see Rhett afterwards. Any other questions? Yes, Mark. Okay, thank you, Mark. Just a reminder to not delay on propane. Any further questions? Yes.
Further close to the note board, can we get a push out and push out for when those go up? That's possible.
Yes, the intent, we've got to get everyone signed up first, but yes, we will, that's the intent to do. Yeah, what I'd like to do, and I don't want to do this after everyone's turned in tonight, but it's important for us to get you in to the WhatsApp group so we can communicate with you. So if we can get that done before you leave this building, we're going to push out a test message just as soon as we can get everyone in the respective groups. Because we want to make sure in the morning when you show up, you're ready to receive information. Anything else for the group? Okay, that will conclude the general briefing. Thank you very much. Next briefing is 05:30 tomorrow morning in this room.
The big Lombard and Patty and that, right?
I did. Good job.
Yep, sorry.
But the propane will remain open until 11, is that correct?
Yeah. The only reason why it would close early is
Had a
that,
bit of an issue today, and I called the guy, and we're going to get it straightened out, and they're going to reimburse me for my propane,
yeah,
but it was a hassle.
thank you, Jeremy.
Good. How you doing?
All right, that didn't
Has
happen.
been checked.
Oh,
So,
same.
okay,
Running
I
red
figured it was a practice
so-
day kind of thing, but I was like,
So Jeremy, as bad as I felt coming down, we
Yeah,
had
so we
stuff
just want to make, we want to get you in.
yeah,
We-
I believe it.
we just
I
got
did
right
my
through
mom.
the stop sign, a little while
How is
ago,
she
and we got
doing?
lost on the way to propane.
month of
We got it
April
tomorrow.
is not good.
Good luck.
I
have a
can
good
tell
week.
that it's
Yeah,
kind of
good
good
luck.
days, bad
Good luck to you
days.
too. See you out there,
yeah.
I started.
Hey, and I hope
going-
Gary gets to feeling better.
Yeah, he says he thinks he will, but Maury will, I hope to not see you this week, but good luck.
I started wondering. Me too. How we ever get through this. All of a sudden, May come around and. Guys, I don't know if you can hear me. I had to make it with text. Are we all good to go? I'll turn this thing off if we are.
And then good after. Are you gonna sell it, or what are you gonna do?
There's nobody out there to come in and take it over.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've still got the work on. I'll just go in.
So
and
she made the
change
decision
some of
with
the
the
language.
language.
Yeah.
Is it safe to assume you guys are okay with, Gary Haynes
That on the
being
email
added?
address, I mean, look, I just copied
Did
it from
listen,
Sherry's.
okay.
on his cell phone, through email.
I can't imagine
That
what
is
you're all.
Guys, okay with it?
That email went to my
Been different. No, that's it.
Even the classic is gonna be
All
different.
right,
Like,
that's all I have.
There's a sign up sheet over there.
Well, sorry about the time, but 7 o'clock.
You should, if you have the link now and you responded to it, as soon as she gets a chance to accept it,
I'd
log
it.
it.
And I didn't call your name, or I did?
Sorry,
did.
you guys
I
sitting
didn't
there
get an
wondering
email,
what's
then
going on. tomorrow the workup is going to start. They've moved back to 3:30.
Well, if you got the one that said do not reply, then you're in.
Well,
But then you still call my name.
She gave me the list.
Yeah.
Check 8,000.
I thought that was like a.
I think we're good, but I've double checked.
What is that? It's a.